It is 11 o'clock, hour number 2 here on this Thursday. Thanks for tuning us in. Pat Smith, Landrum Roberts, Conrad Van Order, Molly Robinson with you until 2 o'clock. We're going to go to Tuscaloosa, talk to Rodney Orr from Tighter Insider momentarily. We've been following the Olympics, what's going on over in Italy. We just got a silver in the men's 1500 speed skating as the Wisconsin, Mr. Stoltz, who's already got 2 gold, he gets a silver as the Chinese speed skater. Not going to attempt to try to say his name, but let's just say that he set an Olympic record time. So Stoltz was a little less than a second behind him, but the Americans get another medal, which means they're 1 medal behind Italy for second place. We will get a medal today at 12 noon. Whether it's the gold or silver variety, we will have to wait and see as they go up against Canada in the hockey.
Gold.
Okay, gold. But we will get one regardless. So
yes.
we will technically tie Italy unless Italy wins some other bogus sport over the next hour or two.
I'll try the Chinese name. Ning Zhangyang.
Okay, sure.
I did my best.
Thought it was you, not me. I just saw this a moment ago as we're trying to get connected with Rodney down in Tuscaloosa. So we all know 1 month ago today, Indiana was crowned the national champion in college football. But one of the top players on the other side was Malachi Toney. And if you didn't pay close attention to Malachi Toney last year in the ACC, he was just extremely dynamic. He had an incredible game against Ole Miss in the college football playoff. He had a good game in the national championship game. So On3 is reporting that part of his deal with Miami, this was Miami's pitch to him from an NIL perspective. $1.4 million yearly and $500,000 additional each season he finishes at Miami. So he gets $1.4 million, and then he just completed a season. So he'll get another $500,000. So that means Malachi Toney is now up to $1.9 million in regards to his NIL. Here's some of the fringe benefits also thrown in part of his NIL package, according to On3.
Lamborghini.
He has unlimited use of booster billionaire John Ruiz's private yacht.
Ha! That's a good one. God, that's awesome.
He also, now this next one is not a good one. Kind of cancels each other out. He has a private suite for any Dolphins home game. Yacht, Dolphins.
Well, that's where he goes to catch up on his sleep.
Yeah.
I love you can have the yacht, but you're also going to have to go and be present at the Dolphins game.
This is a better deal than Jackson Dart.
Oh, yeah.
With the private jet.
The
yacht, and you're in Miami.
And you're 19, you're a millionaire with a yacht?
That's the coolest NIL deal I've ever heard.
Unlimited use.
I just hope he's,
a responsible young man?
Yeah.
Speaking about a responsible young man, let's go to Tuscaloosa and talk to one. That's Rodney Orr from Tighter Insider. He joins us now on the Higginbotham Hotline. Hey, Rodney, hope you're well on this Thursday.
I am doing well, guys. How are the both of you?
We're doing very well, Rodney. Just hanging out, trying to recover after last night's basketball. Your thoughts on Bama 2 overtime win against Arkansas? That was impressive last night.
What a dramatic win. You know, the way the game unfolded. Alabama was down by 14, in the second half, came back. You know the story, how they did it. Man, it was crazy. It's so funny, though. You know, as you look on TighterInsider.com and watch that message board, the flow of how that all unfolded. I mean, that was hilarious. And the calls and the text messages about, this team. And then all of a sudden they come back and they win the game the way they did. It was, I guess you could say it was a massive turnaround.
For sure. And Rodney, when you look at this team, I don't think it's the most well-rounded Nate Oates team that he's had in his tenure in Tuscaloosa. But guys like Phylon, the efforts we got from other guys last night, and their ability to just score in bunches, that, in my opinion, makes this team so dangerous, especially when it comes tournament time. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, they've got a lot of grit to them as well, obviously. They've won 5 in a row now. That's the first time they've done that this year. They'd won 4 in a row twice. But you're right, and I thought last night just kind of the way you saw Phylon go to the rim so much last night. I mean, I thought that they really took advantage of that. Sherelle on the inside, he's really coming around. I mean, great game. Obviously, I think it was 26 points, 13 rebounds. He was big in the interior. They scored a lot of points in the paint, which is different because they didn't, really shoot the ball well from three. So the fact that they played so well in the paint, I think, was probably the difference for them. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, I think they find different ways to win, and they're doing a really good job at that. And what about Acuff? Man, that guy
That was
is
incredible.
a phenom. Yeah, just a phenom.
It's like Chris Jackson. Reminded me of
very-
Chris Jackson, Rodney, of LSU.
Chris Jackson. I covered Chris Jackson when he was in high school at Gulfport
Really?
back in the day. Yeah. That was when he was Chris Jackson. Of course,
Sure.
what he changed his name, Abdul Rauf.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was dynamite, obviously, in high school, an incredibly gifted player. And I agree with you. That's who Acuff kind of reminded me of.
Well, this Alabama basketball team, winners of 5 in a row, and getting that win last night in dramatic fashion, the way they did, it sets them up pretty nice because now you're starting to have people have the conversation nationally that they've been solid on the 4 line, but now they're in that conversation, maybe moving up to the 3 line. And anytime that you can do that, especially this time of the year, that would be big for Nate Oates and his basketball team.
Yeah, certainly would. Get you a better draw, hopefully, and put you in a position to maybe have a good run. No doubt about that. Of course, you got the one thing that you can't do after a game like this. I mean, you go double overtime, you win in dramatic fashion. How do you recover for the next one? You've got to be ready to go to Baton Rouge. They've still got to finish strong here. You've got LSU and Baton Rouge. You got Mississippi State. Then you go to Tennessee and Georgia, and you finish up with Auburn. So that's going to be a good little stretch for them, and it's going to be just as we saw after the Florida game when they got just annihilated, and how they responded after that. With these 5 straight wins, is how are they going to respond now after a game like this down the stretch? And I think that's going to be really important for how they kind of end up in, as you mentioned, in the seeding.
Just an opinion and just watching Aiden Sherrill last night, but how much do you believe that Charles Bediako being brought onto the team to help out, to have another big man, maybe has kind of reinforced Aiden Sherrill and his role and how valuable he is to this team?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have, and I say a lot of people, I've seen some people bring that same thing up. I think it's a great point. I mean, I think it probably has had a big impact on Aiden Sherrill. I mean, again, he's just seems like he's kind of starting to take off a little bit. So I think that certainly could be a really big factor for him. And you know what? It's something that obviously much needed, his contribution there in the paint.
Talking to Rodney Orr from Tider Insider, joins us every Thursday here on 3-Man Front, talking Alabama athletics. All right, let's talk a little football right now in regards to the Alabama recruiting as they're looking now forward to the, I guess that would be technically the 2027 class. What kind of nuggets can you give us in regards to, I don't know, maybe the position groups they're currently looking at to try to fortify their positions with freshmen coming in next year? Or is it just kind of all over the board and you're just trying to get a pretty good indication now of who they potentially could be going after?
Yeah, I mean, the good news is it's kind of like they have done the last couple of years. They're in on a ton of prospects around the country, top prospects. Obviously, one name that keeps coming up, and Alabama's done a really good job of attracting quarterbacks. And I know a lot of people are talking about Elijah Haven from Baton Rouge, and that Alabama's very strongly in the mix there. Some people have thought Alabama leads, and wide receiver, they look like they're in good position with some top guys there. Monshun Sales from Indianapolis, of course, has been a guy that's mentioned. He's a big physical receiver, 6'5", 200 pounds. That, by the way, his nickname's Bama because he's originally from the state. And then you've got another connection with Xavier Sabb, the younger brother of Keon, obviously, and then also Amari, the middle brother that just signed with Alabama. So that could be a real strong connection. Both those guys are outstanding players, and again, I think linemen are going to be a key on both sides of the ball. I know that offensive lineman is certainly going to be a priority. I know they may, because of how many they signed last year on the defensive line, maybe they don't sign as many, but I don't know what, that philosophy is going to be. But listen, I always think that that's where you still load up no matter what you have. You can never have enough on the offensive and defensive line. So that's obviously going to be key. But I mean, they're in on several top players at those positions, around the country, several 5-star type players. So, we'll see. We'll see how it unfolds. It's a long process. And once we get into the summer, you know what it is with all those visits that start getting lined up and they come in the summer, we're going to have a lot to talk about come June and July.
Yeah, Rodney, and when it comes to the 5-stars that are on Alabama and Kalen DeBoer's radar, but when you look at just recruiting as a whole, but goes to the state of Alabama, our way too early class of 2026, 2027 recruiting in the state of Alabama, where does it compare to past seasons?
Again, it's early, but up top, at the top of the list, I mean, there's obviously some really good players. I mean, Auburn just got perhaps the number one player in the state last week, and Donovan Moore out of Hueytown, defensive lineman. Right now, Auburn may be the leader also for Carlos May out of Ramsey, a outstanding defensive lineman. Talking to the people at Ramsey, they think Alabama should probably pick up the pace a little bit there because I think he's a fantastic prospect. So we'll see what happens there. Jatori Williams is one of the top offensive linemen in the country at a Phoenix City Central. Of course, a lot of people have Gunnar Rivers, Philip Rivers' son, out of St. Michael's Catholic down in the Fairhope area, rated as one of the top quarterbacks in the country. And, you can look at Trent Seaborn right there at Thompson. He's another guy, though he's committed to Alabama. There's a lot of teams like Oregon, Miami that continue to recruit him. So I think it's a good year. It looks like a good year. I'm not sure it's going to be a great year in the state, but there's some really, good players in that top 10 that I think could be real pickups when you kind of get to the signing day.
Rodney, you have followed this as close as anyone for decades in regards to Alabama recruiting. And it would go without saying that many people in the media, including myself, we wondered when Kalen DeBoer and Courtney Morgan took over the Alabama program in recruiting. You got a West Coast guy. You got a Courtney Morgan that has never been in the Southeastern Conference. A lot of questions. Would they be able to maintain the high level that Nick Saban and those incredible staffs were able to establish many, many years ago? If you could just kind of summarize over the last 2 years based on what you've seen and the people that you talked to around recruiting, what kind of grade would you give Courtney Morgan and Kalen DeBoer the first few classes that they've been able to put together after coming from the West Coast?
I would be hard-pressed not to say, an A. For the most part. I think they did better on the defensive line this year than maybe what they had done. I don't think it was great. I think they still need to continue to do better there, especially with interior defensive linemen. Of course, they picked up 2 big guys in the portal, as you know. But I think they've done really, really well. Now, to be frank with you, I'm a little surprised at how well they have kind of maintained the recruiting, because I thought it was going to be a real challenge. But I thought they did a fantastic job when they first got here, hanging on to the class that they had, and then moving into the next year, getting all the visits set up and bringing in top kids, not from just California or wherever, although they got some really good guys from there, but just they got some top players from the Southeast, and I think they continue to work that and do a really good job. And as I said, you kind of look at the list of guys right now. They've come in for junior day. They're setting up visits. I think they're positioning themselves for another strong class. But I want to emphasize, I still think that you can continue to do a better job on the line of scrimmage, and I would say especially I'd like to see them recruit. And I know it's hard to get these guys because the NIL and there's a real battle, but I'd still like to see them do a little bit better on the interior part of the defensive line. That
is Rodney Orr from Tider Insider. You can go to TiderInsider.com. Message boards, late breaking information across all of Alabama sports. You can find it right there at Tighter Insider. Rodney, hope you have a great weekend. Always appreciate your time. We'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks, Rodney.
Okay, guys, appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you so much. Rodney joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Well, you deserve to feel good, and you can do it with our friends at Mandu. Mandu is electrical muscle stimulation fitness. I've been talking about it for over 2 years, and the reason I'm talking about it is because it works. And Jocks listeners, great folks like you, you've responded. Mandu, the electrical muscle stimulation fitness, it's all FDA approved. It doesn't hurt, but the revolutionary approach and why people are gravitating towards Mandu is because of the 15-minute workout. Because of that technology, the 15 minutes there is the equivalent to 6 hours in a gym. Who doesn't want that? And you actually get results. That's why Mandu keeps bringing in folks like you, Great Jocks listeners, and they continue to stick with Mandu. The first visit's free. They'll put you through the workout. MANDUU.com. MANDUU.com. For our listeners in North Alabama, there's a Huntsville location. Listeners in Tuscaloosa, all new location of Mandu there. But MANDUU.com. Right here locally in downtown Homewood. Tell Paul and the gang that Landrum from Jocks sent you.
When we come back on three-man front, a very unfortunate situation took place for a television anchor in Italy. We'll tell you all about that next on three-man front. It is 11:20 here on Jocks. Always appreciate Rodney Orr joining us on the program. You know, there's over 50 2026 GMC Sierras on the ground right now at Courtesy GMC. I went by the lot 2 days ago, and I was like, oh, my goodness. It was eye-popping. You need to get by there over the next couple of days. It's going to be nice weather. These 50 2026 GMC Sierras on the ground and up to $12,000 off MSRP. All trim levels to choose from. So it's not just one, but all trim levels on the 2026 GMC Sierras. Courtesy's also extended the $399 lease and sign and drive, that 2026 Canyon Elevation that's in stock that you can get right now. Better hurry because there's only a couple left. And if you purchase a brand new Courtesy GMC, you're going to get that 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain on all new GMCs. They're also looking to buy your vehicle. That's right. They are looking for a good certified pre-owned vehicle that they will purchase. They want to, obviously improve their inventory because so many of you have taken advantage of the great deals that they have there. So all you got to do is stop by Courtesy. They're going to give you a buy bid within 10 minutes. It's that simple. Drop by off of I-459, exit 32. Everyone in the sound of my voice, you can get there right off of I-459. It's real easy, centrally located across the great state of Alabama. So go by there, see them, Josh Gargis, Drew Lawley, the fantastic team. You're going to fall in love with them just like I did many years ago. I've bought multiple vehicles. Many of you have taken advantage of it. I see people, a lot of folks at Social Taco every Tuesday tell me that they made the short drive to Courtesy GMC in Trussville, and they have walked away with the deal of a lifetime. And you can too. Go by and see them right off of I-459, exit 32 in Trussville. So we would all love the assignment, right? If Ryan Haney walked in and said, hey, guys, I'm sending you to Italy. I would like for you to cover the Olympics for Jocks.
Okay.
We'd all
I'd be on
that.
the first plane out of here.
I mean, y'all would be excited.
Now, Conrad wouldn't, unless it was in Beijing. Now, if it was in Beijing, Conrad probably would be all for it.
I would need some time to update the passport.
Oh, mine's updated. I'm ready.
Molly is
Send me
got the bag.
today.
She's got a backpack.
Yeah,
I
she's
already
got an
ha-
emergency
yeah.
She's got a
bag.
bug out bag.
I mean, I looked at flights on, what was it, Tuesday, Monday?
Yeah, I thought you and your mom were going to go.
Yeah, but then my mom got a little sick. So she's fine now, though.
Well, you got a little,
Well, and I also got a little sick. so,
situation
yeah.
that we
I'm
won't,
better now.
we won't talk about on the show.
Well, I'm
but
saving up for the LA Olympics already.
it was-
Airborne. Start airborning now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want that immune system peak.
So if you ever watch TV9 in Australia,
Yeah.
it's one of their big networks.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like here, NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox. So TV9, they call it a sport reporter. And her name is Danica Mason. She's extremely popular. She's one of the top sport reporters in Australia for TV9. She was given the assignment, hey, go to Italy. And because the time difference between Sydney and Italy, she's on typically during the morning show. So think of like the Today Show. Okay. It's the #1 show in Australia. So she's, on that program. And because the time difference, it's nighttime and it's early morning in Australia. So this was Danica Mason giving a report a couple of nights ago to the morning show there in Sydney.
Coffee over here is actually fine. It's more the price of coffee in the US that we are going to have to get used to. I'm not sure about the iguanas. Where are we going with that one? But anyway, let's get into today's sport because there is plenty happening back home. We're going to start off with some actual Brisbane Broncos gearing from their trip to the UK rather, because Reece Walsh has stolen the show. He, of course, did that in the last year's Ashes series, crowning for 4 tries and claiming England's fans. But returned to the UK just 3 months following that UK club challenge. The Broncos fullback is expected for further torment for the crowd.
Okay. Now, I have never in my life seen or heard Danica Mason until that. Okay. So as I'm very quickly, and maybe it was wrong of me, but I immediately said, she's drunk.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like. Impaired somehow.
No, I said she was drunk.
Oh, you said it was drunk.
No, that was me.
Okay.
No.
My first one, impaired.
No, I definitely said she had probably had a little bit
Maybe she had a tooth pulled earlier.
of the wine there in Italy.
You know, the gas kind of lingers.
Yeah.
So I had nothing to go on just because I heard her do that report. Well, then she came back 24 hours later and she did the following.
I'm going to take a moment, if that's okay, just to apologise. I also wanted to say, everyone who has reached out, I'm okay, probably just a little bit embarrassed. Look, I totally misjudged a situation. I shouldn't have had a drink, and especially in these conditions, it's cold, we've got altitude, and not having had dinner probably didn't help as well. But I want to take full responsibility. It's not the standard that I set for myself. So in saying that, I am genuinely really sorry, and I'm thanking everyone for those messages that I have received as well.
There you go. So hearing her normal voice.
Yeah.
And then the first clip that we played, and she admitted, did she say drinks or drink?
Drink. I saw the quote and it said drink. Singular.
It could be
I know.
triple.
It's a good point.
I just from
Okay, I'm going to go to our expert over here, not the drinking expert,
I used to drink.
but I'm going to the expert that was in high altitude just a couple weeks ago. Take us where she was trying to go there. You're elevated.
Yeah, it takes less.
It does?
Mhm.
Okay.
like considerably less.
Like one drink and you don't eat.
I mean, given her height and weight, I don't think it was just one. Or maybe it was a double.
Or triple, as Conrad.
It could have been. I don't know what her tolerance is and if she had been abstaining and that was her first drink in a while.
That's a good point.
Kind of the perfect storm of the conditions. But altitude absolutely plays a factor in getting you tipsier quicker.
Now, her teammates
For
on
me,
the
it has.
broadcast. So I watched the whole thing where the first clip that we played you and the response from the people that was on set. The host of the program, who's like the #1 television host in Australia, he quickly went to her defense and says, hey, we've all been there before when you're in a very extremely cold climate and, you have problems speaking. So he very quickly went to her defense about
which is very
that.
nice of him. Yeah.
Right. And then even after her apology, he came back on camera and he basically said, well, everyone making a big deal out of this, they just need to forget about it. It's no big deal.
So drinking at high altitude intensifies the alcohol's effects due to lower oxygen, faster dehydration, and increased cardiovascular strain, making one drink feel like 2 or 3. And it's because of the lower oxygen levels in the blood, obviously combined with the alcohol, making you feel drunker faster.
Makes sense. I guess just from my experience, I gotta be pretty snockered before I start slurring my words. I'd be pretty.
But
deep.
that's a tolerance thing, so and
Maybe
we don't
so.
know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't know how much she drinks.
Yeah.
And she's gonna weigh less than we are. And makeup of all of that affects people differently. But no, it absolutely does. I can remember the last time, just to take life experience, a couple of years ago, we were skiing and we were at the top of the mountain and it was the end of the day. So I was pretty tired anyways. And we were going to ski our way down. We stopped at this lodge and I had not had anything to drink all week. And I had a beer. It was just a regular beer. This was not like a high gravity beer. But boy, drank that beer, I could tell a difference.
You felt it, yeah.
Yep. It wasn't slurring my words, but obviously I felt a lot different.
And
than
I
did
will say
before.
what she said about, well, I hadn't eaten. That does make a huge difference.
Sure it does.
If you haven't eaten, I mean, even here, if you haven't eaten and I were to have 2 or 3 beers, you'd probably be able to tell.
The best part about, well, not the best part, I guess the saving part for her in her career is she didn't say anything cray cray.
Yeah, no, I mean she was just doing her reporting like normal. Yeah.
Yeah, she had to fight through the report, but it's not like she came out and said something highly offensive.
No, she didn't. She
Which is a good
obviously
thing.
got, the whole iguana thing was weird. Had nothing to do with what they were talking about. And then she said U.S. as opposed to the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
But, we used to be part of the United Kingdom. So maybe that's where she got confused.
Just knowing what we know, I want to give Danica another chance on TV9.
She apparently is a highly decorated journalist. And so that's why I think a lot of people,
Bet she doesn't do it again.
do you remember one Sunday night when Rodney Harrison had that moment on NBC where he wasn't slurring his words, but it was like he paused and you genuinely had people wondering if he had a stroke on air.
Yeah.
It was just a very awkward television moment to the point to where he finally just looked at Tony Dungy and was just said, that's all I got. Like, in other words, it was almost like he wasn't prepared for the segment.
Yeah.
And then you had tons of people start emailing and putting stuff on social media. Hey, is he okay? Because it was out of the norm. And I think people in Australia saw that and they're like, okay, this is
And we saw it from a certain NFL analyst.
correct. So
Another one.
yeah. So
And it's
anyway.
unfortunate, and hopefully
She owned it.
she owned it.
Yeah, she apologized.
Yeah.
And listen, her bosses don't have a problem with it.
No.
I think everybody in Australia, because
You can laugh at it. It's like, oh yeah, I mean,
they get a tall boy Foster's and they're good to go. They're like, hey, who doesn't do that? No big deal. Let's move on.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I don't know why Conrad wanted to bring all this up and talk about Danica Mason for the last 10 minutes, but he did.
thank you, Pat.
All right, we will continue on this Thursday. Rob Pate will join the show in about 15 minutes. We love you, Conrad. All that straight ahead here on Jocks. You know, I saw a couple weeks ago that the state of Iowa wants to propose moving the Chicago Bears to Des Moines. No, that is real.
No, I
Des
know it
Moines,
is.
Iowa?
It's just still really funny.
Yeah. Iowa is offering to build them
I'm sure they are.
a crazy $4 billion stadium.
Yeah. That's nuts. Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah, Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring that up is because moments ago, the state of Indiana has passed SB 27 that would mark the most meaningful step forward in the Chicago Bears moving to northern Indiana.
Whoa.
So the Indiana Bears, here we go.
Head coach Kurt Signetti.
You see what Signetti has done?
They are looking at
wild.
building it near Wolf Lake in Hammond, Indiana. And the Bears released a statement talking about how much they appreciated Governor Braun, the Speaker of the House, different state senators, to establish this critical framework and path forward to deliver a premier venue for this franchise.
So can we invite the Kansas City Chiefs to move to Birmingham?
Where
Is
was
Well, Kansas City's not
option.
even going to be in Missouri anymore.
I've been to Soldier
Sure,
Field. I
exactly.
watched the game there, and it was cool for the history and all of that. They definitely need a new stadium. But the plans and the renderings, and I haven't been keeping up with it, but originally, wasn't it for Arlington Heights or somewhere like that?
Correct.
And it was going to be beautiful, but I'm guessing that they've been met with pushback, red tape, lack of funds. What's going on there? What's the reason? It's all centered around the stadium?
It would just be
moving the
funny if
Bears
now
out
that
of
the Bears are
Chicago-
good again, that then they would leave.
Moving
Yeah.
the Bears out of Chicago, I would hate to see that.
Well, I'm sure it's still going to maintain the name Chicago. It's just like the Jets and the Giants don't play in New York.
No.
They play in New Jersey. So, but it is funny because they had multiple plans, including one by the lake, like right there.
It was pretty.
The renderings were fantastic, but because of politics and everything else, they have decided that they potentially want to move out of Illinois and head to Indiana. So, man, you would have like two football powerhouses in northern Indiana, Notre Dame and the Indiana Bears. That's what I will call them.
The Indiana Bears.
Absolutely.
Oh, I would too, if you're going to move everything.
Yeah. Just like I'm going to call them the Kansas Chiefs, not Kansas City Chiefs.
Wonder if Chicago sports fans, which franchise, if they had to ship one out of state of the major ones, which one would it be? Would it be the Cubs? Would it be the White Sox, Blackhawks, or Bulls? Or Bears?
I think we know who it would be.
Take the White Sox off the table. Who would it be?
That's actually a great question. That is a great question. Bulls haven't been good in a while, but
But still,
You
it's
can't
the
They got the
Bulls.
You
history-
can't get rid of
You
them.
can't get rid of them.
can't get rid of the Blackhawks. They've been kind of carrying you in modern times. It might be the Bears. I can't see them getting rid of the Cubs.
No, that's not.
It'd be the Bears.
Is this Kevin Warren?
It'd be the Bears.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the schemers for the alliance.
We'll say that. I think Pate has done a better job than he did.
Yeah, well,
Indiana Bears,
low bar.
coached by Kurt Signetti.
Mm-hmm.
Signetti might be like, look, we can work it out. I do Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah, I'll work on the weekends.
No, that would be something.
Anyone could do it. It'd be him.
So Wilson Alexander, who covers the LSU Bengal Tigers for the Baton Rouge Advocate and New Orleans Times-Picayune, he's the one that came out about a week ago with the renderings of what the patch is going to look like on the LSU football jerseys. He has been doing a deep dive around the conference, and he tweeted this out a few minutes ago. He says 9 other SEC schools told the Advocate they're at least exploring a sponsor patch. Arkansas plans to have one next season, and Auburn hopes to as well. As of now, Texas is the only SEC school to say it will not put one on its jerseys.
They could have had a Lamborghini logo on there, though. That would have been perfect for them.
So you think that means that he has talked to someone at Alabama and that Alabama will have one on its jersey next year?
Yeah, they will. Yeah. They need the money.
Yep.
Yep.
I think Mercedes would be the easiest, but I don't know how Mercedes feels about that.
That would be really cool.
That would be cool.
I think we all know who's going to be on the Arkansas one. That's like pretty easy. You got either Walmart or Tyson.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll be on that one.
It'd be great if you had like Purdue Farms come in and be like, no, we want to go 2 million higher.
Little competition.
You might have.
That would be
But
funny.
what if you do have some?
And by the
like-
way, we don't put hormones in our chicken.
Like, are you going to be shocked if you find out that a somewhat prominent program has like a crypto company on their jersey? Somebody that just comes in and says, "We'll offer you stupid money.
No.
Just put it on your jersey."
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
gonna
you mean
happen.
like Major League Baseball did with the umpires?
There you go.
Because a crypto company is probably the safest bet you could get as far as a company. They got plenty of funds. A lot of people don't know who they are, and they're not going to offend somebody else in the state. Where Alabama Power, Southern Company, that would be really tough if they sponsored one and not the other.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, because
Fair.
they're in so many states.
Because you would have people that would legitimately, I'm not using that, or I don't want to use them because they're on Auburn's jersey.
We've seen it to a lesser degree on certain other things when NIL came about
It's just funny. Texas
because
is
we can be petty as
with
fans.
the burger joint, yeah.
Texas is like we're not doing it. We don't need to do it.
Doesn't surprise me.
We don't need to do it. We're Texas. So that's why I was curious if Alabama would feel that way.
Now we need the money. I think they're self-aware.
I think
And to be
Alabama-
fair, Texas, they don't need the money probably. So good
well,
for them.
not yet.
No, but one day.
Has Nebraska talked about putting one on? And if so, who would it be?
Runza.
Either Runza or maybe Huddle. I could see that because they're a Nebraska brand.
Like the high school football, like the film.
Yeah, founded by Nebraska graduates, and the headquarters is in Lincoln.
I did not know that.
Mhm.
Very cool.
What if Nebraska football was sponsored by Creighton basketball?
Absolutely not.
Because they don't have football, do they?
No, they don't.
Hey, they had a big night last night.
They had a big
Yeah, they
win
did have a
against
big night.
UConn.
I could see Runza, maybe like Berkshire Hathaway, if you know, Warren Buffett,
Yeah.
maybe that.
Yeah.
Kool-Aid, that was founded in Nebraska, I'm pretty sure.
Was it?
I think so.
Man,
Makes
Nebraska's
sense.
got
Big
some
red
stuff.
Kool-Aid guy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was founded in Nebraska.
You know, Berkshire owns Dairy Queen. Put
That-
Dairy Queen on your
There we go.
uniforms.
I still hope it's the HVAC company that sponsored Dakota's Crawford.
It was in Hastings, Nebraska, where Kool-Aid was first made. So let's put
Hastings,
the Kool-Aid man
Nebraska.
on the link on the Nebraska jersey.
What did you say for Dakota's chilliest? What?
No, you remember he had that HVAC company that sponsored him with NIL because he was
Yes.
the Dakotas.
Dakota's
Yeah.
Crawford.
Yeah, they need to get on the jersey.
Mm-hmm. It is cold up there.
The Woodside Energy patch that LSU has done, that was what I envisioned. Let's make it flow with the uniform. Let's not take away from the uniform.
Well, we talked about it like if Yellowwood was Auburn's, right? He'd probably color coordinate where you don't just have a yellow.
I still use Quickcrete, but I think about how much I don't like that patch on my favorite team's jersey every time I have to buy a bag. Now, I'm still buying the bag, but I want you to know, Quickcrete, I'm not happy about it.
We'll talk to Rob Pate, former Auburn DB. We'll ask his thoughts on who should be Auburn's jersey patch for 2026. That's next on Three Man Front. It is 11:48 each and every Thursday on the program. We get an opportunity to catch up with former Auburn great Rob Pate. He joins the program on the Higginbotham Hotline. Rob, I hope you've had a good week so far.
I've had a great week, guys. Same to you.
We were just talking about, we're reading a story, and LSU has already debuted and put out there in the interwebs what their jersey is going to look like because they have a jersey sponsor. The NCAA has now okayed the use of identities of companies on your jerseys for Saturday in competition. So we started talking about Auburn, and I think Sweet Frog would be a great jersey patch for the Auburn Tigers. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not so sure that's going to happen. I don't think Sweet Frog is in the high revenue production realm that's going to be required to get on that jersey. You know, I was thinking more along the lines of maybe all the coaches that Auburn's still paying that no longer coach at Auburn. Maybe we can form some sort of conglomerate and get them all to have their name written on the jersey and just let that pass as one.
Oh, like a Rushmore patch.
Or no, how about this? Like
you go.
each different Saturday, it will feature, like one week will be Hugh Freeze, then the next week will be Brian Harsin, and then I'm sure they're still paying Wayne Hall, right? Are they still paying Wayne Hall?
Yeah, I think all the way back to the early 90s.
That's a great idea, Rob.
That is a great idea.
That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Auburn, I think everybody naturally assumes that it would be a Great Southern Wood or somebody. I know Apple's been thrown out there. I'm not sure that that's exactly where Tim Cook goes, but would Great Southern Wood, would that be the most obvious to you for Auburn?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's the wealthiest man in Alabama. And, I think that he already is funding so much of what's happening behind the scenes. And, so I would think that would probably be the most logical, if you're guessing. Polymarket, I'm sure, would have him rated pretty high. But I'm sure there's others that would enjoy the opportunity to get their name on the patch or get their name on the jersey and represent Auburn. I mean, there's no shortage of people that obviously throw a lot of big money at the program and want it to be successful. And I do wish that a booster like Tim Cook at Apple, could stroke a couple of checks that he'd never even know were gone, and have somebody like Oregon has that does that. I saw where Indiana has gotten a lot of money from Mark Cuban recently, and so just that sort of thing. But the whole idea of having the patch on the jersey, I know for the purists and the people that don't even want an extra stripe, or when Auburn did the Tiger Eyes on the pants, or we had the drop shadow jerseys, that kind of thing. It just was such an annoyance to people to think that now you're representing another business out there. It's how far the needle has moved. But I get it. I mean, they're trying to raise revenue in any way they can. We'll even move home games now to pay players to play at Auburn.
And Woodside Energy, and I don't know if you've seen, they're going to sponsor LSU's, but their jersey patch, that's exactly what I envisioned. It doesn't take away. It flows with the uniform. My biggest fear, whoever your favorite college football team is that you get a patch, you get a company that's resistant. They say, hey, we're paying $25 million for that patch. We're going to keep our colors on it, a la Quikrete Atlanta Braves uniform. I would think somebody like Jimmy Rain with Great Southern Wood would probably make that patch flow with the Auburn uniform.
Yeah, which would be hard with his yellow. I'm not sure how he would go about that. Or maybe a new line of orange treated lumber. And
there you go.
I don't know, but I don't know what if the treatments have to be yellow or if that's just what they've done. But it's interesting to see kind of how it goes. And the thing is like when we had patches on our jerseys for bowl games, man, it felt awesome. It was like, look at this thing, man. I'm out here and I got this Peach Bowl on here. I mean, Chick-fil-A. I mean, this is great. But I don't know. I mean, that seemed like like something you earned and something that you were proud to have that. I mean, I still have my jersey my jerseys that have the emblems from those bowl games. It just feels different when it's just revenue generation.
Rob Pate joins us, former Auburn DB. I got to ask you, have you been consuming the Olympics over the last week and a half?
The only thing I've seen on the Olympics is the is the Canadian curler that
That cheated and
that
cursed the
cheated.
guy
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
And- yes. I mean, that was something else. But no, I heard about the hockey game yesterday and how they won in overtime. But no, I haven't seen the first thing. Have not.
You never pull any punches, Rob, and that's one of the things that we appreciate you. There's so many to appreciate, but Auburn basketball, what you've seen, your breakdown, what you think's going on, take us through it, Dr. Pate.
They just they're just not deep. They've got pieces, and occasionally those pieces will stand up and just kind of go off like the point guard from Mississippi State did for those guys last night. But we play 5 or 6 guys almost the entire time, and just don't have a deep enough bench to stay fresh. So we don't play great defense. And I really think that guys may be trying to save some in the tank early so that they can get to the finish line at the end of the game. And obviously that's created deficits that they just have had a hard time bouncing back from. I like Stephen Pearl, and I think that he's going to work his way into being a quality coach. I think that he inherited something he probably didn't deserve. But he also inherited something that was an albatross in a team that came off of the Final Four with only one returning starter. And so you inherit those expectations, but you've lost every piece that got you there. And so I don't think he was done any favors with the expectations and the roster, but I also don't think you can argue that he probably needed some coaching experience before he stepped in to be the head coach at Auburn University. So they just have to work through that. There's going to be some ups and downs, and they got their work cut out for them now to try to make that tournament, because I'm sure that loss last night, which was really their first ugly loss, probably putting us on the border of not being in the tournament.
And there's no doubt you got to beat Kentucky. I thought last night was probably a must-win for Auburn.
Seemed like it.
But I think the most frustrating thing is you've seen the potential of this team, and then you have seen it go south here in the latter part of the season. Rob, we always appreciate it. Thank you for the time. I'm looking at all these toppings you have at Sweet Frog. Wow. Why do you need yogurt? Just get a topping, a bowl of toppings.
You can do it. We got plenty that do it. So come give it a shot.
All right. Rob, we appreciate it, man. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, guys. War Eagle.
Rob Pate joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham's your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services. Women's gold medal hockey coming up.